Grab your lunch. Or Christmas cookies, I guess. We're rolling out with the Christmas intro.
Look, if your Christmas tree is not down yet, do yourselves a favor. Put it to the curb. You can't make it till Valentine's Day.
He's Jay Alter. I'm John Fanta. We're about at that halfway point of Big East play. Villanova at the top, and then there's a whole bunch of other storylines. Creighton head coach Greg McDermott with some great nuggets on his program. That's coming up. Eli Cain as well. First, let's get to the fastest 2 minutes in Big East hoops from the last week. We start in Cincinnati.
This was a fun one. In transition, Xavier beats you so many different ways, and then Trey 2K, Trayvon Blewett. He's the man of the night. 2,000 points, only 5 players to do it in Musketeers history.
So special to see him accomplish history at home as well. And Trayvon Blewett, it's only fitting that that basket was a teardrop. It was vintage Blewett. So much fun, and Xavier rolls. The Struce is loose in our nation's capital.
This was a back and forth affair. Came down to the wire. Eli Cain, onions.
Really good game. Kick out to Derrickson. Marcus Derrickson, he had shot that shot.
And you thought this was the game winner until Eli Cain again. Pull up jumper.
Easy.
Book it. DePaul wins on the road.
To Philadelphia. Kyron Cartwright's Diner.
Providence on the road, playing the number 1 team in the country, looking really good. And then Jalen Brunson, razzle dazzle, took this game over. This is my favorite play. Pivot, 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 slam.
Tons of quick pivots from Brunson. And then Omari Spellman.
Hammer time.
To Queens. Creighton. Tariq Owens says no. One of the best shot blockers. And here he is. Foster's home for imaginary friends.
Foster the people. That's what that is. I'll say this game showed me a lot about Creighton. You're on the East Coast for 5 days. Marcus Foster gets you the win on the road against a hungry St. John's team.
Hashtag above the rim talent. Let's go to Newark. Duncan Desi Rodriguez. But then Makura Mania just struck and everyone was shocked in Newark.
He is the guy on the road you go to. That's from the parking lot. Doesn't matter.
Deadly. And then here we go. How do you not box him out? How do you not box? I know, Bill. Bill Murray was stunned. J.P. Makura.
Look, they got that going for him, which is nice.
Big time win for the Musketeers. And they're an example of you go from the tough losses early in conference play to now they're right back in the upswing and in the top 10.
I would say if Xavier, and they should have been going into this season, if they're not on your Final Four radar after this past week, they have to be. A road performance like that against Seton Hall at a sold-out Rock, and then you follow it up against a Marquette team that had 9 days to prepare for that game. And boy, Musketeers looked really good last night.
We caught up with Eli Cain, the hero for DePaul last night. He delivered the onions for DePaul last night, lifting the Blue Demons over Georgetown for a big road win. It's Eli Cain who joins us from Chicago now. And Eli, tell me what you were thinking there. Final possession, coming up with that shot.
I was just trying to do it for my team. We ran the first play. Trey crashed and the ball went out of bounds. Coach drove another play. I seen it. Max came and set the screen. I just rejected it and just made the shot.
What's this win mean for you guys? When you're in the middle of the conference grind and it snapped a skid for you, what can it do for you guys?
It's a lot. It can do a lot for us. Build a lot of momentum for us. We've been in a lot of close games. It just feels good to get over that hump and pull out the win like we're supposed to.
I just talked to Coach Lato, and he said that you have had to transition into being on the ball and being that primary ball handler as the season's gone on due to some injuries for you guys. How have you transitioned into that?
I think it's transitioned pretty well. I've played point guard in my high school career and youth career, but it's just what the team needs. We have a next man up mentality. Dev went down unexpectedly, so like I just said, it's next man up. So I just try to go out there and do the best I can for the team as a point guard.
That's a moment that you dream of, right, last night? To have the ball, to be in control, have that opportunity?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what you stay in the gym for. You practice those shots all the time. It's just it was just one, two dribble pull up. I mean, I probably shot 1,000 dribbles in my career and off the court and just on the playground growing up. So it was just a dream come true.
You're such a versatile player because, like we just said, you made the transition to playing on the ball. Is there a guy you look up to that you try to mimic your game after?
I won't say there's one particular guy, but I definitely admire those guys that can go out there and get triple doubles on a daily basis. The Westbrooks, Harden, even like Magic Johnsons, LeBrons. I'm always with a guy that was proud to fill up the whole stat sheet and not just base myself just off one category and step up.
A bit more of a challenging one for you. You can't pick a player on your team, but you know it because you faced all these guys, and the Big East is loaded with stars. If you could assemble a Big East 3-on-3 team, who would be on it?
Including myself or no?
Yeah, put yourself on it. Let's do it.
I'm definitely on the team. I'm going with my little brother, Miles Powell from Seton Hall. If I had to pick a third, let me see. I need a big fella. I might go with Jesse, honestly.
Jesse Govan?
Yeah, for a big, I'm gonna go with Jesse.
I like that. Little New York, New Jersey action there. You face Cheese, Miles Powell, on Sunday. You shoot him a text before the game, like either today or tomorrow, and say, "Hey, you better be ready."
Nah, we ain't gonna talk. It's all on the court. It's different. But that's my little brother. You know, we grew up together since we was 3, 4 years old. It's gonna be a good game. But once we on the court, we ain't friends.
And Eli, thanks so much for your time. Good luck on Sunday against the Pirates.
Thank you.
Clutch is the word to describe that on-the-road, big-time performance from Eli Cain. And by the way, we're opening up the mailbag a little later on Shootaround. Questions, comments, Twitter, Facebook, let us know. Get your voice heard.
It's time for the debut of Net Guy in Cincinnati last night. Xavier taking on Marquette. And we start our fast break with this. Sean O'Mara, he's a lumberjack, so he chops things up. And then this brings in the great Max Capel.
30 years ago, send it in Jerome. That was the backboard. This the net. We love this tweet last night. Brad Zach doing a great job on our social media. Big Ten turf guy or Xavier net guy?
Xavier net guy, all the way. Xavier net guy all the way. I could push beads around, and I tried the net guy. Oh boy, this did not go well, Jay. It did not go well.
I was here for this, folks. This is sped up 1,300 times speed. It took 4 minutes. He is struggling. How many different, you tried it like 6 different ways.
What was the advice you gave me? Over and under. Yeah, so folks, I kept going over.
Kids, when you're tying a net for the first time, over, under, over, under, over, under. That was dismal.
Jeez, harsh. You know what wasn't dismal? Creighton, they get the win at St. John's, but before they had the win, Greg McDermott has a semester-long scholarship for Jordan Scurry, and Jordan getting offered with a shoebox. He likes the Patriots, but it also had, hey, you've got a scholarship. And he gets mobbed. Is there anything better than that?
So cool, and you see what it means to the teammates, too. You see a kid like Jordan Scurry put in that effort day in and day out, and he's rewarded. Awesome gesture by Coach McDermott and the Blue Jays.
Jordan also looking to study in broadcasting, and I was talking to him a couple weeks ago. Really exciting kid on and off the court. Great example of a Big East player in this conference. We move to a former Big East player, DePaul's Mike Henry, now at the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's on a roll.
He's getting it done. Blue Demons in the NBA. Love it. Woo! Cold-blooded at the end of the shot clock, John.
A 2-way contract for Mike Henry, and in his first game, he was knocking him down. He kept on rolling from there. Really cool story. And the people in Memphis are pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, fearless. 12 points, 3 of 5 shooting from beyond the arc. Keep it going, Mike. We love it.
BE to NBA. If you have any Big East to NBA stories, BE to NBA. We move to this weekend, and we're going to get to upcoming games.
Yeah.
But it's a rematch of what happened last year in Milwaukee.
Rocking. That comeback by the Golden Eagles. Marquette against Villanova, the #1 team in the country then. And guess what? They're the #1 team in the country going back to Milwaukee this weekend.
Let's cue up our TBT. And then Creighton's Greg McDermott.
And that's where we are, downtown Milwaukee. Really anticipated Marquette taking on the Villanova Wildcats.
Very smooth, flowing offense. Ball reversal use each side of the floor.
Bridges.
And Bridges is out there. A little turnover again, and this kills you.
Yep. Hart all the way to the rack.
And a run out. Now they got what they wanted.
Fisher! Flushes it.
Well, that's game preparation.
Rousey looks. Push, baby, push. Yes, sir. Here they come. Hard leaner. Yes, and a foul. There's that Johnson drive that J-Rod was talking about. Leads to Reinhardt.
So he can fill it up, can he?
Hauser, that's his spot.
Patience by Reinhardt.
Reinhardt. Yes! The
Nuggets.
Lion song. Just
5-second difference.
Brunson all the way to the rack. No! Number one has fallen in Milwaukee.
Life going on without Martin Crumple. You've played 2 games without him. How has it changed the way that you play?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing, John, is obviously he was really important in our transition game because of his ability to run the floor and put pressure on the rim in transition. And then, even in the quarter court, his ability to set some ball screens, slip some ball screens, and really put some pressure on that rim, not only created some easy baskets for him and for our team, but also, was able to make the defense commit to him so the shots on the perimeter were a little bit easier. So, we're adjusting to that. Other guys are having to fill into that role of setting that ball screen and putting some pressure on the rim. So, it's going to be a work in progress, but, we had a tough road trip at Providence and St. John's, found a way to get a win, and that was important for us.
Toby Hegner has really impressed lately, Coach. How has he evolved?
The thing he probably did the most, I think when Justin Patton made the decision to declare for the NBA draft, Toby recognized that, I'm probably going to have to guard some big guys in this league next year, and I better get stronger. So, he's really worked on his body, and his body is in a position where he's been able to fight some of the good centers in our league on the block. And while he doesn't go above the rim to get a lot of rebounds, he blocks his guy out. His guy does not get a lot of offensive rebounds, and his ability to shoot the three-point shot, it stretches the floor, it puts pressure on the defense, creates some driving lanes for some of his teammates. So, he's been really, really important to us, and obviously he's not totally healthy. That ankle that he had surgery on in the off season, and then, the injury that he had in November has slowed him down a little bit and really forced us to kind of monitor what he can and can't do in practice so that he's available for games.
You have your pink out night on Saturday, and I'm really looking forward to being out there for it. It is quite the event. Coach, could you tell me about how this originated and what this night is like?
Well, I started, we started something back when I was in Northern Iowa. My last year in Northern Iowa, my wife Teresa was diagnosed with breast cancer. So we started something. We raised a little money in one of the games, and then, carried it over to Iowa State. And at Iowa State, we did more of a Coaches versus Cancer gala. We got that rolling, when I was in the state of Iowa with the 4 coaches of the Division I schools, and that's continued to grow in the state of Iowa. And then, when we came here and I talked to our administration about doing something unique, with the pink out was the idea we came up with, and we got 2 competing hospitals in town that are our 2 corporate sponsors that do the 16,000 T-shirts. We hand out posters to everybody. We have an auction where we auction off our shooting shirts that we raised about $30,000 this year doing that. So it's a way to, number one, raise some money in the fight against cancer, but also to raise awareness. My wife, we're 12 years down the road because her cancer was detected early because she did what she was supposed to do in terms of her screenings. And if only one person goes and does something that they've been putting off in terms of a screening for cancer, and something's caught early, and they're able to, get to the cancer early, have it treated, and live a long life after that, then what we're doing is worth it. So while we certainly want to raise funds in the fight against cancer, we also want to bring awareness and make sure people understand the need for early detection in the fight against cancer.
What a special cause that is, and a special story out of your program as well, Coach. In the last week, Jordan Scurry, now on scholarship. How did this happen? What went into this? And can you tell us the story from your perspective? Because I watched the video and I absolutely loved it.
Well, it's the first time in the 7 or 8 years that I've been here that we've actually had a scholarship at the semester. Normally our scholarships have all been used up, and we've never had an opportunity to reward someone that wasn't on scholarship before, and he's continued to work hard to improve his game. So while we had a scholarship for this year, we felt it was the right thing to do to reward him so that he understands, like we do Tyler Clement, how much we appreciate their contributions to our program.
And Coach, before I let you go, your Super Bowl pick.
Well, my Pittsburgh Steelers are gone, and
hey,
I'm not,
my Browns were gone long
New
ago.
England fan, not the biggest New England fan in the world, but I think New England wins by a couple touchdowns.
Wow. Dominance by Tom Brady. Coach, like I said, my Browns were gone long ago before your Steelers were gone.
Your Browns never arrive. You have to arrive to be gone, John.
He's one of the few guys that can look Patrick Ewing in the eyes, and he will do it on Saturday night when the Hornets and the Blue Jays battle. Coach, thanks so much.
You bet. Anytime, John.
He really let you have it there.
You have to arrive in order to be gone, and he's right.
Put that on a T-shirt. You can sell it at Browns home games.
Q&A time.
All right. Thank you for all your interaction. Questions have been flowing in, and we're about at that midway point, John. Sam Gardner wants to know, who's a sleeper team right now that could keep getting better and really be that surprise team and do damage come March?
Marquette, because it starts and ends with the backcourt. You're going to go as far as your backcourt takes you in March, Jay, and Marquette can compete with any of them because of Howard and Rousey. I think they've also made the defensive climb at times. Now, I know last night they got blitzed. That's a great Xavier team, an unstoppable Xavier team at the Cintas Center on most nights. But I do like what Steve Wojciechowski's doing here, and I think Marquette comes off as a bit of a sleeper. And the way that they match up with teams, if you're not a running gun team, you're going to have a lot of trouble facing Marquette because you've got to be able to go through periods of a game and score with them. So I like the Golden Eagles' progress, and I think going to the NCAA tournament last year made a young group all that much more experience for what's to come.
Buying stock in the Golden Eagles, I like it. All right, on the topic of March and the tournament, Mullins Maniacs write in, how many teams is this conference going to get in when it's all said and done?
It's a 7-bid league with my one concerning team being Butler. I think that they still have some work to do. The win over number 1 Villanova, though, that's going to carry them right into Selection Sunday. They host St. John's on Saturday. They're going to need that one. And it's a Butler team that defensively is still looking to improve. I talked to LaVall Jordan last week, and he wants them to get better defensively.
This is what the experts say. Fox Sports, ESPN, CBS Sports, it's a consensus. It is currently a 7-bid league. That's what this conference got in a year ago. 70%. It's incredible.
Yeah, and teams like Providence, that comes to mind. Looking for a 5th straight bid. Since Big East reconfiguration, having the stability of Villanova, Providence, Seton Hall's looking for their 3rd straight.
Yep.
Those types of teams have really lifted the conference because of their consistency.
Well, then you talk about the Midwest
And
schools.
Xavier.
Xavier and Creighton have been phenomenal, and Coach Wojciechowski, he's looking to get the Golden Eagles in once again.
Yep.
And I like them as the buying stock team, sleeper team. All right. Another similar question. Who's a team that's right now in that log jam, middle of the pack? This is coming from Tom Keeling, that will kind of emerge and get into that top tier with the Xavier and Villanova.
Providence. The Friars already have the home win over Xavier. And again, guard play. Kyron Cartwright at times plays as well as anybody in America. For the Friars, I'm concerned about them down low with Khalif Young and Nate Watson still growing. It's not really anything on them. It's just you have a young front court. And so it's hard at times for them to get on the glass. But Ed Cooley knows how to get a team geared towards the run for March. So Providence is my team.
He did it last year.
Yeah, he's done it the last 4. This program's never gone. This is unprecedented. To 5 straight NCAA tournaments, so special.
But just in the Big East standings.
Absolutely.
There's nobody that climbs that ladder like Coach Cooley.
And that's my number one thing to Big East Hoops fans. The march to Madison Square Garden is a long one. It's a long one. Providence started 1-5 in Big East play a year ago, and they finished 3rd. Xavier 2 weeks ago, they lose at Providence, they lose at Villanova. The sky is falling. Chris Mack is the all-time winningest coach at Xavier. Have faith in him. Seton Hall's one of the oldest teams in America. I know people are a little bit rocky right now because they've lost 3 of 4. They're on a bye week. Give them time here. This is actually their best start to conference play in the last 3 years. They've gone to tournaments the last 2.
All right, we keep it rolling. Mailbag continues, questions, comments, and we turn to Sean, who says, John, how do I get your job? Well, you can start by attending the broadcast boot camp in Chicago this coming Monday.
Yes, you could. Very well
Talk
done,
to the great
Mr.
Rick
Alter.
Gentile. He'll hook you up.
How do you get my job? You fall in the snow?
That's what I was going to
You
go
could fall in the
with.
snow.
Yeah.
I would just not wear boots outside. Eat your Wheaties. And, for me, it was a spur of the moment. I entered college when the conference reconfigured. Right place, right time.
Truly, and that is what it's all about. All right, final question. We'll continue to have a little fun. Alex says, what's your power ranking of conference coaches' game attire?
Ooh, we were talking about this one. What do we have?
Well, Jay Wright is almost in a tier of his own, so you almost have to take Coach Wright out of it.
And then beyond him, Ed Cooley wore a 3-piece.
I like the 3-piece. It's the silver Ed Cooley suit. I think we've got a picture.
There it is.
And it's 2 stages. So there it is in the 3-piece. Man, that looks good. That's at MSG. And then he takes off the jacket. Looks just as good. I like Steve Wojciechowski as well.
Underrated.
Underrated. He doesn't go with the jacket. It's kind of that fit dad look.
Fit dad look. His
Awesome
kids love to
ties.
play soccer.
Awesome
so,
ties.
Yeah, the blue
School
and gold
colors.
Blue and gold's huge for that.
Look at that.
Yeah,
Couldn't
blue
you
and
see
gold's-
that?
Yeah.
Oh, love that.
Now it's funny because you're a Syracuse alum.
I am.
It's true that Jim Boeheim wears the same.
Yeah, 40 years. Same suit.
Not even a suit. just
Julie dry cleans it 3 or 4 times a year. Got some mustard stains.
That's the mailbag.
Oh, yeah. First of all, it's not a suit. It's just a jacket and khakis.
Speaking of suits and Coach Boeheim, we do have a tweet here from Derek Coleman. The Big East all-time leading rebounder has tweeted and says, records are made to be broken as Angel Delgado nears history.
Closing in on it, just 2 away from a record that stood 28 years. Man, oh man. Classy from @44, the legend. Of course, that's a legendary football number that he wore on the basketball court. And you can see Angel do it on CBS Sports Network this Sunday, Seton Hall at DePaul.
That's one of our upcoming games, along with number 1 Villanova at Marquette, Sunday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time on Fox. That's a big one to be watching out for. A Saturday nighter, Georgetown at Creighton. That's on the CBS Sports Network. And then I've got my eyes on the Wednesday doubleheader.
Just took the words out of my mouth. How about that Wednesday doubleheader? Providence at Seton Hall, Butler at Marquette, both games, Fox Sports 1.
The Big East Wednesday night jam as the march to MSG rolls on.
Coach Lavin in the studio?
I'm sure he will be. I mean, I don't do the scheduling, but I'm sure he will be. I'm sure he will be. Anything else ahead of this weekend?
No.
That's
Absolutely
it.
nothing.
That's the first time ever that I have asked Jay Alter before we've ended the show if he has anything else, and he has not said a word.
One thing. Think Georgetown, tough loss last night. They bounced back, put a really good effort on the road in Omaha. Not going to pick the game, but a really good effort.
We don't pick games on Shootaround, but we do talk all 10 of our teams. Another weekend of Big East hoops. We're back next Thursday, 1 p.m. Eastern Time. This guy might have more to say then. Enjoy the games this weekend, folks. This has been another Big East Shootaround.
Number 23.